Donald Trump stole Ivanka from me. I am still thinking about her, and I am going insane. After 2 years, I have been fighting depression, and here is the real reason why. Guys and girls, it's Monday, the worst day for a lot of people. I hope this video is going to bring up your mood. Hit like and subscribe if it did. Enjoy the story. My name is Dorian Sutherland, and my story might sound like a twisted fairy tale, but I swear it's all true. It began back in high school in the small, sleepy town of Elmswood, Pennsylvania. I was your average kid with average problems, but one thing set me apart: my intense crush on Ivanka Williams. Ivanka was the kind of girl who lit up a room with her laugh and had an aura that made you feel like you were the only person in her world when she talked to you. It was the spring of our junior year when everything changed. I had finally worked up the courage to ask her to the spring dance. I still remember the exact moment. I was leaning against my locker, rehearsing my lines, when she came up, looking radiant in a sun-yellow dress. I was about to open my mouth when a voice interrupted. "Hey, Ivanka, looking good as always." It was Donald Trump. Yes, the Donald Trump. He had moved to our town for a while, and rumor had it that he was just here for some business deals with his dad, Fred Trump. I watched in stunned silence as Ivanka's eyes lit up. She seemed genuinely excited to see him. "Donald, hi," she said, her eyes sparkling. They chatted briefly, and he made some offhand comment about how he'd love to take her to the dance. I watched, heart sinking, as she laughed and said, "I'd love that." The rest of that day was a blur. I tried to convince myself that it was just a fluke, but when I saw her walking into school with him a few days later, I knew. My heart shattered into a million pieces. Over the next few weeks, the whole school buzzed with excitement about Ivanka and Donald. He was charming, funny, and had a way of making everyone feel special. I couldn't compete with that. I felt like I was losing my mind. My friends, like Spencer O'Connell and Clarissa Finch, tried to comfort me, but how could they understand? I remember one particularly rough day in history class. I was sitting next to Spencer, trying to concentrate on Mr. Thompson's lecture about the French Revolution, but my mind kept drifting. Spencer noticed. "Dorian, man, you've been a mess lately." "What's up with you?" he asked. I shrugged. "Just dealing with some stuff." "Is it about Ivanka?" he pressed, concern in his voice. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. Spencer looked at me sympathetically. "You need to let it go, buddy. It's not worth this much pain." But it was easier said than done. Ivanka and Donald were everywhere. They'd show up together at the mall, at the local diner, and even at our school football games. And every time, it was like a dagger to my heart. I started distancing myself from friends, isolating myself in my room, where I'd replay the moments when things were different. The memories of Ivanka and me laughing and talking felt like a lifetime ago. Months passed, and the pain didn't subside. It only deepened. One chilly November afternoon, I decided to confront Donald. I had no idea what I would say or do, but I was desperate. I found him in the town park, sitting on a bench, reading a newspaper. I approached him, my hands trembling. He looked up, surprised. "Dorian, right? What's up?" he asked casually. "Donald, we need to talk," I said, my voice unsteady. He raised an eyebrow. "Sure, what's on your mind?" I took a deep breath. "You took something from me, Ivanka. You knew I liked her, and you swooped in and took her. It's not fair." Donald looked genuinely taken aback. "I didn't know you liked her, man. I mean, she's her own person. If she wanted to be with me, that's not my fault." I felt anger rising in me. "You had no right to come in and just take her like that. You don't understand how much this hurts." He shrugged, clearly uncomfortable. "Look, I didn't mean to hurt you. Things just happened. Maybe it wasn't meant to be." I turned away, feeling like a fool. His nonchalance was maddening. The confrontation did nothing to ease my pain. If anything, it made it worse. I walked away, tears streaming down my face, feeling more lost than ever. The next year was a blur of depression. I graduated high school, but I wasn't the same person. I took a job at a local hardware store, which was a stark contrast to my once vibrant life. The emptiness I felt was overwhelming. I'd sit at my small apartment, staring at the wall, lost in thoughts of what could have been. The few friends I had left tried to reach out, but I pushed them away. I became a shadow of my former self, consumed by thoughts of Ivanka and the life we might have had. Every so often I'd catch news snippets about Donald Trump, his business ventures, his fame, his controversies, and it all felt like a cruel reminder of my own failure. One evening, I was sitting alone at the bar, nursing a glass of whiskey. The bartender, a grizzled old man named Hank, noticed my state. "You all right there, kid?" he asked, his voice gruff but kind. I shrugged, not trusting myself to speak. Hank studied me for a moment and then nodded. "Sometimes life throws you curveballs. All you can do is try to swing." I nodded, taking another sip. "Yeah, I guess." The emptiness was suffocating. I felt like I was disappearing into the void, my life defined by a single painful chapter that I couldn't escape. 2 years after that fateful day, I was sitting in a small diner, nursing a cup of coffee, when I saw Ivanka walk in. She was different, older, more mature. My heart skipped a beat. I hadn't seen her in years. I mustered up the courage to approach her. "Ivanka?" She looked up, surprise flashing across her face. "Dorian? It's been so long." We sat and talked for hours. She filled me in on her life, how she and Donald had drifted apart, how she had left Elmswood and moved on. She seemed genuinely remorseful about the past, but I could see the weight of her own regrets in her eyes. "Dorian, I'm so sorry for everything," she said, her voice filled with sincerity. "I didn't realize how much I hurt you." I nodded, feeling a mix of relief and sadness. "It's okay. I've been trying to move on, but it's been hard." We parted ways with a sense of closure. As I walked out of the diner, I felt lighter. The past couldn't be changed, but maybe, just maybe, I could find a way to move forward. It was the first step toward healing from a wound that had seemed impossible to mend. 2 years of pain and struggle had led me to this moment of understanding. The journey wasn't over, but I finally felt like I had a chance to reclaim my life. Thank you for listening to my story. It's been a wild ride, and though it's still ongoing, I hope sharing it brings some understanding and maybe even a bit of solace to those who might be dealing with their own struggles. Comments: "Damn, I feel for you, man. That must have been rough. I respect Donald Trump for what he did as president, but it's shitty how he treated you. No one deserves that." "Thanks, Patriotic Piper. It means a lot. It's been a tough journey, but I'm trying to find my way through it. Appreciate your support." Wow, that's a heartbreaking story, Dorian. I voted for Trump and still support his policies, but it's tough to hear about the personal stuff like this. Thanks for sharing your story. Liberty Lover 45, I get it. We can support someone's policies while still recognizing their personal faults. Thanks for understanding. This story is insane. I can't believe the same Donald Trump we're talking about did that. I mean, I support him politically, but this was a real jerk move. Freedom Fighter 99, yeah, it was a wild experience. I never expected to be part of something like this. Thanks for seeing the human side of things. I believe in Trump's vision for America, but hearing personal stories like this is a reminder that everyone has a human side and makes mistakes. Stay strong, Dorian. Conservative gal, thank you for that perspective. It's important to remember that even those in power have flaws. I appreciate your kind words. Man, this is rough. I back Trump's presidency, but I disagree with his personal actions here. You deserve better, Dorian. Stay strong. American Eagle 08. Thanks for the support. It's been a rough road, but messages like yours help me keep going.